Yo, 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 it's Miss Gray here, the girl who has no name. And I'm here to talk about the age of Aquarius, Saturn Jupiter conjunction, and the superpowers that we got on the 21st of December. And I hope you claimed your superpowers on the 21st. But there's still time. You will discover them, little by little. Rest assured. So, here I'm drinking some Finnish holiday drink, Christmas drink called glöggi. And I wonder if, people have this in other countries and what would be the name of it, like in English. So this is like fruit juice that has spices in it, and you warm it up. And usually you put like almonds and raisins in here. And it's a grape juice, like a red grape juice, and you put ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, and cloves in it. So I just feel like it's very witchy drink. There probably is some sort of like folk tradition tale that is pretty witchy associated with glöggi here in Finland. I don't actually know, but now just reading the spice ingredients are super witchy, like ginger, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom. So, I'm just thinking sounds super witchy. So, but this is like very traditional. I just wonder if you guys have this or not. But it actually says here that this drink goes back to the 1600s, and it was wine. Obviously, well, it's made from grapes. It used to be wine. So yeah, it was kind of fancy drink. So it says here that in the beginning, this glögg was only for the wealthy. And where they made this drink, they made it in a silver cauldron. But then little by little, it came like a common drink for all of us. So interesting. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about glöggi. So indeed, superpowers on the December 21st. Happy great conjunction, happy solstice, and happy age of Aquarius. So what the superpower thing to me means is that there is accelerated improvement of skills in whatever area you are practicing, interested in. Let's say you are a shaman, you are a dancer, you are a healer, you are a Reiki master, you are tarot reader, you are a witch, you are an artist, a painter. You work with people, you are a motivational speaker, you work with kids, you are a teacher, whatever you are, there is some sort of accelerated skill improvement that will happen, or you will discover entirely new skills. My stomach is acting up a little bit, so I'm like being careful here. So what I was supposed to say. So yes, and indeed, you might discover a new set of skills entirely. Also, there just generally will be a lot of accelerated healing happening. physically, spiritually, mentally, amongst the collective and in an individual level. So let's say if you are someone who has been, and this is more so what the age of Aquarius will bring upon itself, is that, or with it, is that, let's say you're someone who's been struggling with chronic pain. It's now a great time for you to heal from that pain, and experience life to the fullest. So either you will learn how to heal yourself, there will be like some sort of miracle remission or something, or you will be introduced to people who know what you need, etc. So yeah. So, and also what this age of Aquarius will bring is that, and the Jupiter Saturn conjunction, is that there's a justice that will be restored. So if there's been any injustice in someone's life, rest assured that you will be reprimanded. Reprimanded, is that the right word? Compensated, reprimanded, for that in one way or another, and vice versa, So check yourself, before you wreck yourself. A lot of accelerated ascension, which might also mean to some people who are extremely sensitive, there could be a lot of accelerated ascension symptoms in the physical or in the spiritual. So things usually tend to feel more chaotic before they get better. But now this is the time when we are starting to reap the benefits of the work, inner work that we've done in 2020. Because 2020 was really about purging, about shit coming to the surface so it can finally be, exiled. And now we're getting to the time where we can actually enjoy the work of our labor. So but there's might be still like that final last purge happening. And going back to the justice, although yes, justice will be served, things that are done in the dark will, rest assured, come to the light in the collective and in people's personal life. But also I feel that the age of Aquarius is a lot about dumping duality, like the right or wrong, looking things in a black and white manner no longer serves us. There will be this resurrection of compassion, of looking things with more objectivity, like in the lens of more humane approach to people and situations. And it's not anymore so much like burn the village, it's more compassionate way of looking at different situations. I think they're also just generally, let's say in the public eye, there will be some manner of almost like imagery building. Like I feel like we will see, like I was saying about the justice, we perhaps will see people getting their justice also in that way, if they're being painted in certain light in the public eye, the truth will come to the surface, for sure. Also, the age of Aquarius, it's important that the balance between the masculine and feminine energy is restored. Now, this happened already in the 2020. We started it we began this work of balancing the divine feminine and divine masculine, but now we are starting to reap the benefits more. And I feel the masculine was, because usually when something happens, there is first a little resistance when something new is about to emerge. But the divine masculine is perhaps now more on board, and it started with the women's empowerment movement and the rise of the witch, even, if you will, and healing, getting the divine feminine to feel courage, to feel empowered, so that divine feminine energy can heal, and that automatically heals the collective divine masculine energy. It kind of automatically gives the divine masculine energy room to heal, because it is the divine feminine energy that heals. So that's something. And this will continue on, this healing process. But I feel like in 2021, in this age of Aquarius, we get to like enjoy it. It's not so much labor anymore. And the divine masculine is now more willing to do the work, or just to heal, you know. So it's not gonna be like a taboo anymore for the divine masculine to be in their divine feminine energy, and vice versa. So, and speaking of that, it's going to be the year of twin flames. The 2021 really is a lot to do with divine unions, which also is, you know, considering the twin flames, it's interesting news, because there will be a lot of unions between twin flames. See, because the twin flame relationship, for those of you who know about the twin flame relationships, it's not just about the relationship between those two individuals. There usually is like a bigger purpose that the twin flames are here to do. So there is something like greater than the two of them, than just the relationship between two individuals. And the twin flame energy is so powerful that, because when those two get together, the twin flame, divine masculine and divine feminine, they kind of activate each other to ascend to the highest possible consciousness for them. And, you know, the energy is so powerful that it actually affects the collective energy. I know that sounds very grandiose, but it affects the collective consciousness energy in a major way. And all the twin flames, I feel, are in a way connected to each other. So one twin flame couple ascends, it helps the ascension of the other twin flames, and so on, so on, so on, and so on. So, but if you feel like you are a twin flame, don't get caught up in the relationship, because it can be quite it's intense. But that's perhaps another video entirely about the twin flames. So yeah. This is also the year of entrepreneurship, self-sufficiency, but also collaboration that will help the individual to achieve their entrepreneurial goals. So this is the year of success. There's a lot of success to be had now if you have that business idea, especially if it's something that also serves the collective, you will be supported by the spiritual realms in that endeavor, for sure. And a lot of new witches and healers will be awakened. So if there is someone in your close circles or whatever that you feel, you kind of can sense that they are going through some sort of spiritual awakening, or they are starting to see interesting things around them, help them, guide them through the ascension. One thing about the ascension, I was talking about the ascension symptoms. I feel now it's important to pay attention extremely. This is like a channeled message that I've gotten through dreams and whatnot. It's now more important almost than ever to pay attention to your nutrition. So, yeah, it can be like a bummer to hear, but nutrition is extremely, extremely important. And one random message that I've gotten is one specific food that you should stay away from at all cost. It's extremely damaging to your body, and it's also extremely low vibrational to your mind spiritually, is dairy and cheese in particular. Now I know I used to make this food when I was younger, where I just put a bunch of cheese on a plate and I put it on a microwave, and I called it cheese goo, and I just ate it with a fork, and that was my favorite food. So I'm telling you, I loved cheese, but I know now in my heart, in my soul, in my brain, in everything, that cheese, dairy, it's extremely, like, that's something you do not want to put into your system. Now, I'm not a doctor, perhaps a witch doctor, but I'm not a doctor. So if your doctor recommends you to eat cheese, or if you just feel like you want to eat cheese or dairy, milk, yogurt, then by all means. But just from me to you, the message that I've heavily got, so heavily that I wanted to mention it here: really do not eat cheese or milk. But cheese in particular is, but dairy altogether is just, it's bad. It really is bad. Like, it really is. It's not like an old folk tale where they say that cheese gives you nightmares. It does, and there's a reason for it. It's an incredibly it's just not a good thing to eat. So believe me, not believe me, but there you go. Also, also about the nutrition, yes, that I said. Meditate a lot, get into nature. These are the basic messages that I think just everybody kind of gives to people. But, and sugar, yes, sugar, stay away from sugar. And this also one thing that can be very annoying to hear. But so I've understood, well, here I am going to tangents again, but I've been guided really heavily to kind of go for a while into this yogic path, and my body has become extremely sensitive to foods. And through that, through learning, through channeling, I've narrowed it down what I feel collectively just hinders your ascension process and your spiritual growth. I'm not saying you can't go back to these foods or things at some point, But in the midst of your growth, let's say, I think it's extremely beneficial to stay away from certain things. So one being, like I said, dairy, another being sugar, the next being coffee, caffeine. And one weird thing that I actually truly think it came by as like a surprise, but like I can test this, is onions. There's something about onions that kind of hinders your brain, because onion is extremely stimulative food. It's kind of like caffeine. There is health aspects for onion. This is not, I'm just saying what I've learned. So try to limit these items if you feel symptoms like in your body from the ascension heavily, or if you want to improve your meditative skills, if you want to meditate more, or you want better divination skills, let's say you want to scry better, or you want to be a medium, I would definitely avoid these food items. So, and wheat, for sure as well. So there's that. If I'm doing this, it's because there's perhaps time of the month, so my stomach is going going crazy. If that's TMI, too bad. Grow up. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, there's that. And then one kind of off the wall message that I got when I was watching the film Tenet. Now, I don't know why I just feel like saying this, but so I was watching the film Tenet, and I couldn't figure out why the film kind of lingered in my head. Like I couldn't get that out of my head. And the film was interesting because I wasn't so blown away by the film at first. Like it felt kind of understated almost. Like there was something anticlimactic about it. The even the color scheme in the film is very like muted. Like there's some sort of term that they use in the cinematic world when they make films that are muted in color, like let's say the new Joker, or another Christopher Nolan film, which was the Batman, or the Dark Knight Rises. There's like a term for that, but I don't remember, like the muted coloring in films. But anyway, the Tenet was like filmed that way. And even the action scenes, because I love action films, but even the action scenes in it were kind of like understated, which was cool. And there's like a lot of dialogue in the film, which I also like, but it was hard to follow because the sound is kind of odd in the film. This is no shade to Christopher, like call me if you need a leading lady, because I love your films. But I'm just telling you why I felt it was odd that the film kind of stayed in my mind. So, but I did feel like it was genius nonetheless, but there was just something a little like iffy about the film. But anyway, but the great film nonetheless. So what I got from the film then afterwards was that the message was extremely beautiful. And although, let's say, the topic of time travel has been explored in a lot of films throughout the years, but I don't think that Tenet was so much about just like time travel, although it like is about time inversion, but I don't think it was the point really. So to me, it was almost like what I got from it was So this is a message to someone or all of us. So if you are someone who struggles with regret, you struggle with decision making, you struggle with the feeling of, oh, if I've only done it this way, if I only said this, if I only did this, X amount of years ago, or, you struggle with regret of letting go, of guilt, of, beating yourself up for your past decisions, just know that sometimes your higher self, your future self uses inversion, which they use in the film Tenet, but we call it divine intervention. But in the film they call it inversion. I call it divine intervention. So sometimes your higher self uses inversion, divine intervention, so that you are led to the place that is for you, for your highest good, that the outcome of your life will reflect your highest self. Your higher self, your future self is trying to get you to them. Your higher self is trying to get you to your higher self. So this is a concept I've struggled at times when I think, how do these two things, free will and things that are destined, pre-written, faith, how do these two things live together? Because if things are destined, how can we have free will, and vice versa? So now how I think of it after seeing Tenet is that I think of, your free will as your current self, as the self that is here right now. And your destiny, the thing written in the stars, is your higher self, is your future self. So think of free will and destiny as people, and both of those people are you. So free will is current you, destiny is your future self, and both of those things are intertwined. They are inseparable. They are the same, both working for your highest good to create your path. So both are necessary. It's like the body cannot live without the mind kind of thing. So just know that whatever you've been through, whatever choices you've made, more than likely it was your higher self, especially in situations that may hurt, that don't make sense. Just know that it's quite possible that your higher self, your future, was working for you. And also quickly, something that I forgot to mention, a message that I think came from the Arcturians is that in the year 2021, it's possible that we will see an invention, something to do with technology, because the Arcturians are the race that governs the technology field, and they give downloads to people who then come to invent these great technological advances like the internet, electricity, ultrasound, the computer, different apps, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. So something along those lines will be either the seed will be planted, or we actually will see an invention of this sort that will change lives. Like it's actually for our greatest good. An invention on the technology field that will actually be beneficial to us spiritually. Something very like that. Random message. But that's all. I'm running out of time here. Namaste, oneness, and peace, love always. Bye.